Hi there. How you doing today? How's this Pisces full moon energy affecting you? It affected me in a pretty interesting way. A couple of hours ago, I got hit with this just strange feeling of fatigue, and I ended up passing out in the middle of the day. And that's pretty hard to do with an incredibly rambunctious 5 year old running around the house screaming at the top of his lungs. But I did it, and I was out for a couple of hours, and I woke up at the exact minute that the moon went directly opposite the sun. And so for me, it seemed like my consciousness was only able to handle this Pisces energy by just fully dissociating from this reality and escaping for a while. And that's about as Pisces as you can possibly get right there. Um, and so it led me to wonder how's it affecting you guys? Um, and I'm really excited for tonight. We got this big lunar eclipse going on, and so I think for about 86 minutes or so tonight, you'll be able to see the full moon turn completely red. So you definitely want to try to catch that. If you're not aware what causes that, that's the moon turns red during a lunar eclipse because the light from the sun is traveling through the atmosphere of the earth and being refracted by it before it hits the moon, because lunar eclipse is the earth eclipsing the moon from the sun instead of the other way around in a solar eclipse. And so, for the same reason that the sky turns red during sunrises and sunset, because it's traveling through more of the Earth's atmosphere when it's at that lower angle among the horizon. Jesus, I just got hit by an apple that fell off this tree. I am the Astrology Isaac Newton. um, anyways, what was I talking about? Yes, that's why the sky turns red, because it's traveling through more of Earth's atmosphere. Um, and so that's why the lunar eclipse turns red as well. But back to what I was talking about a minute ago, I wanted to talk more about this dissociation from reality quality that you can find in Pisces. You can see this pretty prevalent in my son's chart. He has Neptune conjunct Mercury in Pisces, intercepted in his third house. And so you can see it pretty prevalently. He's completely lost in his own thoughts and constantly in his own world, acting out all of these skits that he likes to do. He's never fully present in our reality. And it's easy enough for me and his mother to follow along because we live with him. We talk to him every day. We spend lots of time with him. So we know what he's talking about, but nobody else is ever really able to understand what is going on through his mind. Like, they'll say, "Hi, how are you doing?" And he'll be all like, "I waited for this for years." And they'll be like, "What are you talking about?" So, oh, there's a plane flying over. Anyways, lots of planes flying overhead these days, isn't there? But who I really wanted to talk about today was probably the most Piscean individual who ever lived, and that is Kurt Cobain. Pisces and Neptune touch almost every single aspect of this man's chart. So let's look at it together, shall we? You can see here he has a Pisces stellium. He has Venus at 26 degrees. He has Saturn 28 degrees, Chiron 24 degrees, Mercury 18 degrees. This is all one big stellium, all in Pisces, on either side of his descendant, which is at 23 degrees Pisces. And he also has a Pisces sun at 1 degree. By the way, I will go on this rant another day, but just because his sun is also in Pisces, it is not a part of this Pisces stellium. Planets need to be conjunct each other to be part of a stellium. It isn't just they're all in the same sign, so therefore they are a stellium. That is not true. I see a lot of people saying stuff like that on Facebook, but that's a video for another day. That's another rant for another day. But also, this stellium in Pisces is trining the Pisces ruler Neptune in Scorpio. And they're also trining the other Pisces ruler, Jupiter, in Cancer. Both Pisces ruler trining this Pisces stellium to make a grand water trine. That is an insane amount of Pisces influence. And then the sun is squaring Neptune as well. And then we see he has Pluto conjunct Uranus, the only two planets that aren't in a water sign for him, and they're in the Pisces ruled 12th house opposing that stellium. He has so much interacting with this stellium. And then also he has the moon in Cancer and the Mars in Scorpio. But this man had so much Pisces energy. He was completely lost and detached from our reality. And he had nobody that was able to truly connect to him. And this affected his relationships with other people. This affected his health. And this led to his, his lifestyle choices. Got to be careful of how I word things on this platform. But all of this Neptunian Pisces energy led to some incredible music that will be remembered forever. But it was too much for him to handle. And it's because of that he escaped this reality. And, I think there's a lot of contention about whether he did that to himself or not. But when I look at this chart, it's pretty apparent that he did. But it's truly very interesting. And so Nirvana really speaks to that Piscean 12th house energy that everybody has. And I think that's why I don't think I really know anybody that dislikes that band. Maybe they don't like that genre of music, but they still have music by Nirvana that they really love. I know that Kurt Cobain is his astrological chart, I believe, is one of the things that inspired my teacher, Kirsty, to get into astrology. And she actually, when she was teaching me all those years ago about astrology, she went over this chart with me. Like, she used Kurt Cobain's chart to teach me. And it really is a fascinating study. And you can see with Neptune squaring the sun and Mars squaring Jupiter while trining the sun, and that Pluto conjunct Uranus in the 12th house opposing all of that Pisces stellium over there, you can really see this struggle he had with himself and being lost in his own reality and not being able to truly connect with other people in a way that he really needed to. And also Aries, the 8th house cusp being in Aries, and Aries ruling the head, 8th house, being how we die. And Sagittarius, I see the end of the matter with Jupiter in the 10th house, his death being very public, and also just his public works being remembered forever. This is really a fascinating chart, and we can go into more detail about it someday. But I just really wanted to point out the significant Pisces energy that he has, because I just feel like it was really, perfect for today. But that's about all the time I have for this video. So I hope you guys enjoy this Pisces full moon. Pisces, my favorite full moon of the year, and it's a lunar eclipse. I had a cloudy sky last night, but it's looking lovely and blue. I almost said blovely. Pisces affecting my ability to talk, apparently. But yeah, so hopefully that lasts till tonight for me so I can enjoy it. I hope you guys enjoy it. I hope you have a wonderful day. If you want a chart reading from me, you can always book it at www.dhastrology.com. And I love you guys. Have a wonderful day. Talk to you later.